Saki and Coach Paul Petty following a 26-10 loss to a North Mac football program. Paul, you know you have a lot of respect for Coach Bowman and this North Mac football program, and I think there's nobody that was here tonight who didn't know there was a pretty good football game played here.
Yeah, and I there's a lot of people I hope got the opportunity to see it. The one thing about seeing this Friday Night Light game in person is, man, you heard a lot of helmets making contact. You heard a lot of shoulder pads hitting. That was a really hard-hitting football game, and to me, that's what football is all about, particularly on Friday nights on green grass.
You come out and you get the first score of the game on, I guess we'll call it a controversial field goal. What did you see from your perspective on that?
I clearly saw the ball cross the uprights. I don't know what everybody else saw. When I say clearly, does it mean it was good? No, in my opinion, it was clear. And it went in our favor.
You got a 3-0 lead. They take the ball, score right away, make it 6-3. All of a sudden, you blink an eye and you're down 18-3. You got the ball 3:37 to play in the first half from your own 32-yard line and really put a nice drive together. And then Bobby took it in from 5 yards out. And, that was a drive that I think you were probably first and goal at the 5, got a 15-yard penalty, and first and goal from the 20 is a little tougher situation. You had to be really proud of how your team finished the half.
Absolutely, and I think, obviously, Gage Gratton just running the ball, such a hard and physical player, particularly when he has the ball in his hands. He's going to make contact with somebody, and if you want to take him down, you better prepare yourself. He definitely proved that tonight. I thought they came out in the second half and kind of took a little bit of that away from us. And again, we spread a little bit and tried to throw the ball. Passing and running both are so important to this game. And right now we're running the ball well. We've got to do a better job of passing the ball so that we can keep drives alive. And I think that's what you saw in the first half and the second half is if we're able to complete some passes, you fall down 10-18 at half and we come out and our only goal is, guys, we're kicking off and we have to hold them the first possession. And we do. It's so important to get the ball in the end zone or at least in field goal range for us that very first drive. And unfortunately, we weren't able to do that, which I think then put us on our heels again.
This is the team, though, who beat you pretty handily last year. I think you're seeing, and we talked about during the broadcast, you're seeing those constant steps of improvement. And next week, a New Berlin team who still very, very good with the ball in the air, but is maybe not quite as talented as they've been in the years past. That's going to be a good test on homecoming.
And I think it will be. Obviously, homecoming, some of my biggest concerns, it's so distracting to the young mind, and I want them to have a good time. So we're going to put a curfew in place and try to keep them in early. We're still going to come out with a game plan. One of my biggest concerns is obviously one of our weaker points on defense is our pass defense right now. Now, it's gotten better. I thought it looked better tonight. We were in some areas we hadn't been all year. We may not have made the play, but we were there to make a play. And so we're going to see a lot more passing this weekend, and that's what we've been waiting for. That's what I've been waiting for is we're going to throw a defense out at them, and we're going to try to match their speed for speed to be in spots where they want to go before they get there. Big play next week is probably going to be our defensive ends putting pressure on the quarterback.
And one of those defensive ends, sophomore Nate Anderson, we call this name several times tonight from that outside spot, keeping some contain, and he'd sometimes fly across the field and make some pretty good hits, too.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a very physical, and again, I'm starting 6 sophomores, and all 6 of those sophomores I thought had phenomenal games tonight. Cade Forget, I think you start seeing him limp a little bit at the end, and when you're that physical and you're in that much, I mean, the kid's 5'8" or 9". Weighs 165 pounds, and he's getting hit by number 56 at 6'4", 285. I mean, that does take its toll on him, but he stayed on the field the whole game. He played full speed. He made a really nice tackle to end the game. Solo out in the open. I mean, you can't ask for more than what they're giving us right now. We just got to get smarter.
I think the biggest thing that we've seen improvement-wise from year to year is this was a good, hard-hitting football game. And you didn't see a lot of those cheap 15-yard penalty type of plays. It was a good, hard-hitting football game, and you saw a lot of times guys coming off the pile, pats on the shoulders, pats on the back, like, hey, nice hit, let's go back and do it again.
Absolutely, and I think what you saw, and for me, what I saw from the officiating, there was some personal fouls, but they weren't the type of personal fouls that were so egregious that somebody needed to be ejected. That was a clear control by the officials, and I thought they did a phenomenal job. And it was becoming physical. It wasn't becoming physical cheap. It was becoming physical. And I think when you have that, officials have an obligation to keep it intact. And I think those penalties, every one of them were earned on both sides of the ball, depending on how you look at it. But the reality was, I thought they controlled the game well, and I thought we hit right up to the end, and I thought North Mac did the same thing.
North Mac gets the victory in this one, 26-10. Coach, as always, thanks for joining us here on Central Illinois Sports.
Thank you very much, sir.